Don't worry. I used to be a restaurant critic. It's not as bad as it looks. Oh.
It's worse.
Peter Jackson once said the most honest form of filmmaking is to make a film for yourself. With that spirit in mind, 2025 and 2026 promise to deliver a cinematic feast featuring an exciting lineup of films from Disney and Pixar. From highly anticipated sequels to fresh new adventures, here's a sneak peek at the best upcoming movies that you won't want to miss. Paddington in Peru, July 17, 2025. The first two Paddington movies are practically adored by everyone, with Paddington 2 even hailed as one of the greatest films ever. That's a tough act to follow, but the success of those films means someone has to step up, and in 2025 we'll see Paddington's next adventure in Peru. Paddington in Peru will be the first in the series not directed or written by Paul King. Instead, Dougal Wilson will take the reins for his debut feature film. But don't worry, Paul King and Simon Farnaby, who co-wrote Paddington 2, are still on board to help shape the story. As the name hints, this movie will take Paddington, voiced once again by Ben Whishaw, and the Browns on a South American journey to visit Aunt Lucy at the home for retired bears. However, Aunt Lucy is missing, so Paddington and his friends will embark on an epic adventure in the Amazon to find her. Returning cast members include Hugh Bonneville, Madeline Davis, Samuel Joslin, Julie Walters, Jim Broadbent, and Imelda Staunton. Emily Mortimer will step in for Sally Hawkins. New faces joining the fun are Olivia Colman, Antonio Banderas, and Carlo Tuse, who is replacing Rachel Zegler after her departure due to the SAG-AFTRA strikes. Snow White, March 21, 2025. Disney's live-action remake of Snow White is shaping up to be a major event. Scheduled for release on March 21, 2025, this film follows in the footsteps of successful revamps like Beauty and the Beast and Aladdin. It's a bit surprising that Disney waited so long to remake Snow White, given that the original 1937 film was their very first animated feature and has been a cornerstone for their legacy. The new film will pay homage to the classic while introducing fresh changes. Despite facing delays due to the 2023 Hollywood strikes, filming has wrapped and star Rachel Zegler has shared that reshoots are complete. The movie was initially set for March 22, 2024, but was pushed back due to these delays. Gal Gadot will play the evil queen, adding a new dimension to her role with a voice change and a darker portrayal. Broadway star Andrew Burnap will bring a new love interest, Jonathan, to the story, described as a Robin Hood-like character. Martin Kleba, known for the Pirates of the Caribbean films, will take on the role of Grumpy, a nod to his previous Snow White adaptations. The casting choices and some set images have stirred controversy, particularly regarding the portrayal of the Seven Dwarfs. Critics have noted that the dwarfs are played by actors of various genders and ethnic backgrounds rather than those of smaller stature, and that Zegler's casting as Snow White has also sparked debate. Additionally, Zegler's comments about modernizing Snow White's character to be more of a leader rather than a damsel in distress have been polarizing among fans. Despite these controversies, Disney is aiming to bring a fresh take to this iconic story while keeping the magic of the original film alive. Elio, June 13, 2025. Get ready for Pixar's next big hit. After the success of Inside Out 2, Pixar's upcoming film Elio is set to arrive on June 13, 2025, after a delay from its original spring 2024 release. Adrian Molina, who previously worked on Coco and The Good Dinosaur, is directing this new adventure. The film features Jonas Kibriab as Elio, who ends up in outer space surrounded by aliens and cosmic beings. His human form, completely foreign to them, becomes a source of fascination. America Ferrera will play Elio's mother, Olga. With this intriguing premise and Molina's creative touch, Elio promises to be another imaginative Pixar gem. Tron Ares, October 10, 2025. Tron Ares is the long-awaited third installment in the Tron series, which began in 1982 and continued with Tron Legacy in 2010. The franchise, centered around a virtual reality called The Grid, explores the interactions between morally good and corrupt computer programs. The original Tron was lauded for its groundbreaking visuals, and Tron Legacy followed suit with its stunning light cycle battles, an iconic Daft Punk score, and Oscar-nominated sound editing. The delay in producing a third Tron film seems understandable, considering the 28-year gap between the first two movies. The original wasn't an immediate hit for Disney, but its cult following eventually convinced the studio to expand the franchise. Tron Ares faced numerous setbacks, including Disney's decision to scrap the sequel in 2015 and the replacement of original director Garth Davis with Joachim Ronning. However, Tron Ares has finally emerged from development hell. Director Joachim Ronning announced on Instagram that principal photography will wrap in early May 2024. While there's still a lot of post-production work to be done, the film is on track for its October 2025 release. Jared Leto's casting as the lead character Ares has been polarizing. While Leto has shown his acting prowess with an Oscar-winning performance in Dallas Buyers Club, his roles in franchise films such as The Joker in the DC Extended Universe have been critically panned. Despite this, Leto's involvement adds intrigue to the film. Leto will be joined by Emmy winner Evan Peters in an undisclosed role, indicating a significant part. Greta Lee will portray a tech CEO with valuable technology that needs protection, and Jodie Turner-Smith and Gillian Anderson also join the cast in undisclosed roles. The plot details for Tron Ares remain vague, with a project summary describing it as a compelling exploration of Ares' journey. The previous films were primarily set in digital environments, but the ending of Tron Legacy had significant implications for the future, with the character Korra stepping into the real world. Jared Leto's character Ares could be venturing beyond the grid, potentially leading to harmful consequences for humans. Given Ares' namesake as the Greek god of war, his journey might involve creating discord between the digital and real worlds. Screenwriter Jesse Wigato is behind Tron Ares, while Joseph Kosinski, who directed Tron Legacy, had initially written a script for Tron 3 titled Tron Ascension that dealt with an invasion storyline between the two worlds. If elements of Kosinski's script are incorporated, we might see an epic War of the Worlds scenario unfold in this highly anticipated sequel. Zootopia 2, November 26, 2025. The vibrant and diverse animal metropolis of Zootopia will come to life once again in Zootopia 2, directed by Jared Bush and co-directed by Josie Trinidad. Disney CEO Bob Iger confirmed the sequel during the Disney 2023 Q1 investors call, with Bush returning as both director and writer, and Trinidad joining as co-director. This news was met with excitement, especially after insights from Jason Bateman, the voice of Nick Wilde. Bateman envisioned Nick and Judy Hopps as dynamic police partners cleaning up the streets of Zootopia, hinting at an action-packed continuation of their story. He shared his vision with Hollywood Life. The two of us, Nick and Judy, are kicking out there, cleaning up the streets. We're a couple of new cops out there, so bad guys be warned. While details about the plot of Zootopia 2 remain under wraps, the film is set for release on November 26, 2025. The sequel will likely build on the original film's success in exploring complex social issues with humor and heart. The first Zootopia tackled themes of friendship, diversity, and the importance of challenging societal prejudices, and the sequel could delve even deeper into the intricate dynamics of Zootopia's society. The original film, released in 2016, was celebrated for its creative world-building and its ability to address serious topics through the lens of a family-friendly animated feature. Given the hints from the actors and the creative team's return, fans can expect Zootopia 2 to continue this tradition, providing both entertainment and thought-provoking commentary on societal issues. Shrek 5, July 1, 2026. DreamWorks Animation has officially announced that Shrek 5 is on its way, hitting theaters on July 1, 2026. Fans of the franchise can rejoice as original stars Mike Myers, Eddie Murphy, and Cameron Diaz are all set to return. However, Antonio Banderas' return as Puss in Boots is still up in the air. The film will be directed by Walt Dorn, who has a strong history with the franchise, having worked as a writer and artist on Shrek 2 and Shrek the Third, and served as head of story on Shrek Forever After. He also voiced Rumpelstiltskin in the latter. Gina Shea, who has been involved with the series from the start, and Chris Meledandri, founder of Illumination and producer behind the Despicable Me films, will produce, with Brad Abelson co-directing. Eddie Murphy recently revealed that he's already begun recording his lines for the film and hinted at a Donkey spin-off movie in the works. "We started doing Shrek 5 months ago," Murphy shared with Collider. "I recorded the first act and we'll finish up this year. Shrek is coming out and Donkey's going to have his own movie too." The Shrek series, which began in 2001, has been a major hit, with the original film grossing $487 million worldwide and becoming the first animated feature to win an Oscar. Its sequel, Shrek 2, earned $928 million, while Shrek the Third and Shrek Forever After brought in $813 million and $752 million respectively. The Puss in Boots spin-offs have also been successful, with Puss in Boots: The Last Wish grossing $484 million and earning an Oscar nomination for Best Animated Feature. In 2018, Universal Pictures tasked Chris Meledandri with reviving the Shrek and Puss in Boots franchises. Meledandri emphasized his desire to keep the original vocal performances intact, as they were key to the franchise's success. "The challenge for us has been to find something that really does feel like it's not simply yet another film in a series of sequels," he said. With a renewed interest sparked by The Last Wish, DreamWorks is moving forward with Shrek 5. Meledandri expressed excitement about the potential for a Donkey spin-off and is enthusiastic about reuniting the original voice cast, with negotiations reportedly progressing well. Toy Story 5, June 19, 2026. Though fans thought they said goodbye to Woody and Buzz for good in 2019's Toy Story 4, there's a lot of excitement surrounding the news of Toy Story 5. Released in 1995, the first Toy Story movie was Pixar's first ever feature-length film. Toy Story revolutionized animated films, and since then, Pixar has become the gold standard of animation, telling emotionally resonant stories that adults enjoy as much as children. Unlike most animated franchises, the Toy Story series has never dipped in quality, and each installment has introduced new beloved characters. In Toy Story 4, Woody and Buzz said goodbye for what seemed like the final time as they went their separate ways. Woody went on to lead a new life with Bo Peep as a lost toy, while Buzz continued to belong to Bonnie, living comfortably with Jessie, Rex, and new additions such as Forky. However, regardless of Toy Story 4's perfect ending, some of the toys will be getting new adventures in Toy Story 5. Pixar CEO Pete Docter announced that Toy Story 5 would be directed by Pixar veteran Andrew Stanton, who has been intimately involved with Pixar since the company's inception and even co-wrote the script for the first Toy Story movie. Stanton's presence as director suggests Pixar is aiming for a classic movie-going experience. Though little is currently known about the fifth movie in the beloved Toy Story franchise, Disney has established a 2026 release date, specifically June 19, 2026. This means the actual animation is probably underway, with the performance aspects coming within the next year or so. While release dates so far in the future are always tentative, Disney is not one to miss expected deadlines, and fans can expect to see Toy Story 5 on time. Not much has been confirmed regarding the Toy Story 5 cast, though Pete Docter has confirmed Buzz and Woody's return. That announcement isn't particularly surprising, since Buzz and Woody have always been the heart and soul of the franchise since the first installment. This means Tim Allen will likely return as Buzz Lightyear, and Tom Hanks as Woody, though the actors themselves have not been formally announced. The franchise has always introduced new and exciting characters in each sequel, and Toy Story 5 won't be any different. One possible storyline for Toy Story 5 could perfectly answer a long-standing Toy Story series mystery and bring the series full circle by masking Sid the villain. Sid was the antagonist of the first movie, but he surely has so much trauma from finding out that the toys are alive. Sid is the only person in the universe who knows that toys are alive, but it's unclear what he would have done with that information. In the decades since Toy Story, he could have been trying endlessly to prove that the toys are alive and failed, leading him to become even more hateful of toys in Toy Story 5. Though Toy Story 5 may seem like it's being developed for financial reasons, Pixar has the capability to come up with an incredible and just as sentimental story to justify the sequel. The movie could follow Buzz and Bonnie's other toys on a new adventure, and without ruining their original goodbye, Woody could appear briefly in a cameo where Buzz seeks his advice. Alternatively, it could feature two different stories, where half of the movie follows Woody and his gang of lost toys and the other half follows Bonnie's toys, with the two stories intersecting. Regardless of the direction Pixar takes, Toy Story 5 promises to continue the legacy of one of animation's most beloved franchises, delivering heartfelt stories that resonate with audiences of all ages. Moana, July 10, 2026. Disney's live-action remake of Moana will keep many of the beloved characters from the original animated movie. Dwayne Johnson will return as Maui, the charming demigod, but Ollie Cravalho, who voiced Moana in the original, will not reprise her role. Instead, she'll serve as a producer alongside Johnson. Newcomer Catherine Lagaya will take on the role of Moana, with John Tui cast as her father, Chief Tui, and Frankie Adams as her mother, Sina. Rena Owen will portray Moana's wise grandmother, Gramatala. As for the animated characters, Heihei the Rooster, voiced by Alan Tudyk, and Tamatoa, the giant crab with a flair for song, played by Jermaine Clement, will likely be brought to life with CGI. Tudyk's vocal talents and Clement's ability to sing shiny are integral to their characters, so their inclusion would be a welcome addition. The live-action Moana will likely follow the same storyline as the animated classic. Original writer Jared Bush, along with Dana Ledoux Miller, is back to adapt the script. The story follows Moana as she sets out from her island to find a way to save her land from a mysterious blight, meeting Maui along the way and discovering her true self. Given the film's heavy reliance on water-based scenes and fantastical elements, adapting it to live action poses a challenge. However, Disney's track record with effects-heavy films, as seen with Black Panther: Wakanda Forever, suggests they are more than capable of delivering convincing water and fantasy effects. With production set to begin in August, as revealed by Dwayne Johnson on Instagram, fans can look forward to an exciting adaptation of this oceanic adventure. Frozen 3, November 27, 2026. Disney CEO Bob Iger has confirmed that Frozen 3 is expected to be released in 2026. According to Disney's current release calendar, an untitled Disney animation film is slated for November 25, 2026, which aligns with the release dates of the previous Frozen films, November 27, 2013 for Frozen, and November 22, 2019 for Frozen 2. While Frozen 3 is anticipated to be a major event for Disney, it is unlikely to be the franchise's last installment. Although Iger did not mention a fourth film in his latest reveal, he teased the potential for Frozen 4 back in November 2023. As for what Frozen 3 will entail, specific plot details remain under wraps. However, in an exclusive interview with The Direct, Frozen producer Peter Del Vecchio expressed his confidence in the upcoming sequels and this particular trilogy. He stated, "Look, we only do sequels if we believe there's enough story to tell. They're working on it up in development. I'm focused on Wish, but it's exciting what they're working on. I will say anything you read about it in public, we haven't said anything about it, so it's all conjecture. But I trust that it's going to be amazing." Del Vecchio's reassurance that sequels are made only when there's a compelling story to tell is encouraging for fans. With Frozen 3 still 2 years away, the anticipation continues to build, and while there's no official date for Frozen 4, the franchise's future looks promising. Disney's commitment to Frozen 3 and other animated sequels underscores the company's strategy of focusing on lucrative, beloved franchises. This approach not only ensures the continuation of cherished stories, but also opens the door for new and original ideas to emerge, balancing the old with the new in Disney's ever-evolving animated landscape. Well, that's a wrap for today's video, but don't you worry, we'll be back with a whole bunch of more juicy updates about the exciting movies coming up in 2025 and 2026. So keep those peepers peeled and stay tuned for more. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll catch you in the next one. Your suggestions for future videos are always welcome in the comments below.